What's up, you guys? Chase the Dark Sage here, and today we are back with another installment in my So I Tried series, where basically I either read a manga volume for the first time or I try revisiting a manga volume that I've already read in the past. And in today's video, we'll be reading Yen Press's Dead Mount Death Play. I already know that I'm gonna be loving this just from the cover alone, or that's at least what I thought until I read it. Now, I do want to preface this by telling you guys that Yen Press did send me this copy to review on the channel, but just because they sent it to me doesn't mean I'm going to be biased towards giving it a positive review, and you'll see that in this video. But I am thankful that Yen Press sent it to your boy, because you know they got your boy on the radar now, so we know that for sure. But before we actually get into my thoughts, the plot, the characters, the writing at Dead Mount Death Play, and how much this bad boy disappointed me, go ahead and make sure you do the usual YouTube stuff, like liking the video, subscribing to the channel if you haven't already, and go ahead and follow me on all my other social media platforms. All my links will be in the description down below. So, let's go ahead and get into this manga, because I got a lot to say about it, and it's not going to be good. So when I first saw this cover, I thought to myself, this was a death game-like series just from the name. But I also could feel something involving superpowers seeing the character on the volume cover in his different eye color. I honestly did not know what I was getting into when I actually got this volume from Yen Press itself, but just look at the volume cover itself. Comment down below what you think the series is about, because when I first saw this volume cover right here, I thought it was going to be a super gritty, action-packed, gory type of series. So let me know down in the comment section down below what y'all think it is, because if you know nothing about this and you look at that cover, I bet you're not going to get what this is about. Now with my initial impressions out the way, let's go ahead and show off this volume. This is Death Mount Death Play Volume 1. It's published by Yen Press and created by Ryogo Norita and Shinta Fujimoto. This volume contains 8 chapters and is 249 pages, excluding the promotional content in the back. I have to say that I really love this front cover and how it's presented, but now let's talk about the plot. In a fantasy world, the corpse god, a necromancer, whatever that means, you can tell I'm really not into fantasy, is fighting Sir Shigura, the hero of this world. At the end of the fight, when the hero is about to give the final blow, the corpse god activates one more spell. The final move from the hero hits, but the corpse god is nowhere to be found. Now see, this next part was definitely something I wasn't expecting. Now let's travel to a different universe where the corpse god, who we're just gonna call CG from here on out, is regaining consciousness. Because of the spell, he has lost his memory but remembers using some sort of magic to get where he is now. CG soon comes to find out he has woken up in a kid's body on the street in our world with his throat sliced open. I then knew what kind of story I was about to read. As he's fumbling around, he regains his memories along with the person's memories whose body he resides in now. When he finally comes to, he is befriended by a woman who we soon find out was the one who attempted his murder. At this point, I'm thinking it's about to go down. After trying to finish the job of assassinating the person who CG is now occupying, CG regains a bit of his magic powers and eliminates her. Notice how I put that in quotations. Soon after this, we are given CG's backstory on how he became who he is and how he just wants to attain peace. Within these flashbacks, we are shown that he is very protective of children in a guardian-like fashion, but this has been ripped from him in his own world. Now CG is in a new world with little magic and wants to attain peace, but he is soon taught that you need money in order to get a big goal like this accomplished. The real question is, can he do it? And that's about it for the plot for this volume right here. I don't want to get too much into it because I want you guys to actually read this yourselves and form your own opinion. But with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about if I'm going to be continuing the series or not by talking about the artwork, the characters, and the plot itself. Let's get into it. For an isekai title, it has a standard artwork. And that's not a diss towards isekai, because they generally have pretty good artwork most of the time, so this didn't really stand out to me in that department. The paneling is alright, nothing too crazy, not too wordy as well, and each chapter is above the usual weekly 20-page count, so you will take a minute to get through each chapter. Overall, in the artwork / visual category, I'm not impressed. None of these characters are likable or memorable. From this cover, I thought we was gonna have a lot of dark / twisted characters within this, but they all kind of come off the same. Nothing so far makes these characters unique or stand out. I don't even remember anybody's name from this, but rather the events that happen involving them. Sad to say, but just from the first volume, they are very surface level and don't seem to have more to them. Characters are just bland and boring. Now, from seeing the cover of this, I thought the series would be like a death game like series, kind of like Squid Games. I didn't expect to be getting into a reverse isekai about a villain who comes to our world and essentially becomes a work for hire. I also thought that this would have a much more dark atmosphere or vibe, but it's very comedic, or at least tries to be. I didn't laugh at anything in this and thought the comedy felt very flat or for a younger audience. Despite the series being a seinen, meaning that it's more geared towards an older / mature audience. The writing didn't do much for me in terms of dialogue and exposition, and I can say the same for the theming as well. The theming, just like the soul and everything else in this volume, feels non-existent. But now it's time to give you my thoughts on Deadmau5 Deathplay Volume 1. I would be lying to you guys by saying I enjoyed this manga, cause I clearly didn't. It took me 2 whole days to finish this. Yes, 48 hours to finish a single volume. And I'm not gonna say that this is the worst thing I've ever read because, well, Boruto exists. What I will say is that this doesn't do anything great or special for me. I felt no type of connection with any of these characters, and the setting itself was not fleshed out enough. This front cover really fooled me, and I definitely got the opposite of what I was looking for in this manga. My biggest problem with this volume isn't that it's necessarily bad, but it just feels uninspired and is using many tropes that I've seen before, but isn't either executing them well or just not utilizing them to the extent that it needs to be utilized. I'm gonna have to give Deadmau5 Deathplay Volume 1 a 5 out of 10. And I'm dropping it.
If it's love, I want everything. Touch my soul, touch my heart, don't judge my mental. They told me that life is simple, been real since Papa Pimple. I started out in the rental, sonata, the presidential. Speak once and listen twice. They told me that less is simple. I'm observing in the room, I be flying all on the wall. Open mouth conversations, I leave you all in some.
But I would say Saitama isn't as broken as people think. Yeah, he's not. That's what I'm saying, Matt. People either hear the name or they've only watched the anime for One Punch Man. Like, no one's really read the manga like that, which I understand, but still. It's hard to say if he can or can't one punch everything. He can, PK. It's been proven. He's done a serious punch, and it's like hit someone, and it didn't kill them. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, Goku could 1v1 Raditz, bro. Sam, after like how big of a time jump and
I tend to do it wrong. Can you fault me for wanting you? Was you let alone? Both hurt, but I wasn't taunting you. I just thought it ought to be what I was supposed to do, else I wasn't approaching you. I put my heart on your sleeve, wore like a brooch to you, and all in all, the outcome would be what it would be. You took a chance, I took the lead. We shook as sheets, advanced and did the deed. Don't blame it on me. We grown, it's a natural thing.
Cruising the night, I'm grooving it. Thought you said you was my type. I'm moving too slow. Text back like shit. I'm cool with it. I can match energies, babe. I move to your flow.